Welcome, bienvenidos, benvindu, to the Soccermetrics Copa Libertadores show, part of the SDH network. The only English language show devoted to South America's premier club competition. I'm your host, Howard Hamilton, the founder of Soccermetrics. Moving week is now over. Where did the 32 teams finish up? And do any of them know where they're headed? In this episode, I'll review the matches that made up Matchday 4 of the Copa Libertadores, starting with, as always, the classified results. We start in Group A, Cusco 1, Estudiantes de La Plata 1, Independiente Medellin 0, Flamengo 0, match abandoned. Group B, Coquimbo Unido 2, Universitario 1, Deportes Tolima 3, Nacional 0. Group C, Deportivo La Guaira 1, Bolívar 1, Independiente Rivadavia 1, Fluminense 1. Group D, Universidad Católica 0, Cruzeiro 0. Barcelona 1, Boca Juniors 0. Group E, Santa Fe 1, Corinthians 1, Platense 1, Peñarol 1. Group F, Junior 0, Cerro Porteño 1, Sporting Cristal 0, Palmeiras 2. Group G, Always Ready 4, Lanús 0. Mirassol 2, Liga de Quito 0. Group H, Rosario Central 1, Libertad 0, and Universidad Católica 2, Independiente del Valle 0. So in Matchday 4, there were a total of 29 goals scored, 20 by the home team, 9 by the away side, resulting in 7 home wins, 6 draws, and 2 away wins. One match is a no result. That's it for Part 1. In Part 2, the featured matches of Matchday 4. Part 2 of the Soccermetrics Copa Libertadores show, part of the SDH network. I'm going to get into the featured matches of Matchday 4, but we first have to talk about events surrounding Independiente Medellin versus Flamengo. Now, this match actually started out normally, and Flamengo nearly scored from the kickoff. A Samuel Lino cross went to Luis Araujo, whose volley missed by inches. Yet it was clear in the opening minutes that there would be indications of crowd trouble, and protests started to build in the stands of the Estadio Atanasio Girardot. There were flares, fireworks, even bonfires in the stands. And referee Jesus Valenzuela stopped the match and took players off. The PA system asked fans to stop what they were doing and then asked them to leave the stadium. The fans refused on both occasions. And finally, 60 minutes after the referee took the players off, CONMEBOL announced that the match would be abandoned. Now, the reason why there were such fan incidents at this match, it had nothing to do with the actual match in question. It had to do with actions by Independiente Medellin's president after the club's elimination in the Colombian League playoffs. And to be honest, it probably goes back a lot deeper than that. Raul Giraldo is the club president of Independiente Medellin. He's the largest shareholder of the club. In that match over the weekend, in which Independiente Medellin were knocked out of the Colombian League playoffs, there were images of Giraldo walking off the pitch at the end of the match, making gestures to the fans, and flashing currency notes at them. Clearly looking drunk, the fans were incensed at the demonstrations of their club president, and there was crowd violence in the stands and in the concourses of the stadium. A couple of days later, Gerardo apologized on social media and resigned from club leadership. He was the legal representative of the club, and he resigned from that position. He still remains the largest shareholder of the club, though. In response, the fans wanted the entire board to resign, and they wanted new players to be signed and a new manager to be installed at the club. So that's the background of the incidents that occurred in the Independiente Medellin match, really exposing deep fissures within the club. The reaction from the Flamengo manager, Leonardo Jardim, was that he was surprised that the officials took so long to cancel the match. Quote, "In situations like this, after 45 minutes, if the referee confirms that it's not safe, then the match is abandoned. I'm just going off what I understand the rules to be." Now, CONMEBOL have announced an investigation into the events. The most likely outcome is that Flamengo will be given this match by a 3-0 result. The Atanasio Girardot will be closed for at least 2 matches, and a large fine will be issued to the club, most likely in the 6-figure range. Currently, Independiente Medellin are third in their group. They have a really good chance of advancing to the knockout stages of Copa Sudamericana, and if they advance to the latter stages, it's almost certain that they will not be allowed to host a home match. So that's a situation surrounding Independiente Medellin versus Flamengo. Really tragic result, really bringing to bear the deep divisions internally within the club that have erupted on the South American stage. And now we turn to the first featured match of this match day, a Group B encounter between Coquimbo Unido and Universitario. Coquimbo Unido lined up in a 4-3-3 formation with Diego Sanchez in goal, Juan Cornejo, Manuel Fernandez, Benjamin Gazzolo, and Francisco Salinas in defense, Sebastian Galani, Alejandro Camargo, Guido Vadala as midfielders, and Benjamin Chandia, Christian Zavala, and Nicolas Johansson up front. Universitario lined up in the 3-5-2 formation. Miguel Vargas in goal, Matias Di Benedetto, Anderson Santamaria, Cain Farah in defense, Jose Carabalí, Jairo Concha, Jorge Murugarra, Martin Perez Guedes, and Andy Polo in midfield, Alex Valera and Edison Flores up front. Both sides were looking to take control of Group B, in which all 4 teams had 4 points. Coquimbo took the initiative and set up camp in the opposing half, and they had the overwhelming majority of chances in the opening half of this game. They came close to scoring in the 25th minute when a free kick by Salinas forced a flying save by Vargas. Yet it would be Universitario who would take the lead against the run of play, and they opened the scoring just after the half-hour mark. It occurred off a crazy series of caroms. After a corner was headed down, Cain Farah made a sliding attempt and hit the underside of the crossbar, and Valera snapped a header off the rebound, which lobbed over everyone into the goal to give Universitario the early 1-0 lead. That's how the scoreline would stay until halftime, but 5 minutes after restart, Coquimbo would equalize through Guido Vadala. This was the result of a possession that started their own inline and was instigated by Francisco Salinas. After 12 passes advancing the ball downfield, it was Salinas again who was a protagonist, firing in a well-weighted cross from the right-hand side that Vadala slid in at the far post. Vadala would appear again 20 minutes later to give Coquimbo the lead. This time, Coquimbo kept the ball in the Universitario penalty area after a corner, and on the third ball, it would be Vadala who curled the ball into the far corner from the top of the penalty area. Finally, Coquimbo had the scoreline that their efforts deserved, and only a goal line clearance kept out a third goal by Lucas Prato. The final result, Coquimbo 2, Universitario 1, that represented the first time in 51 years that a Chilean club overcame an initial deficit against a Peruvian one in the Copa Libertadores. Most importantly, it gives Coquimbo the initiative as they enter the final two matches of the group stage. On to Mendoza for the Group C encounter between Independiente Rivadavia and Fluminense. Independiente Rivadavia made one change from their previous Libertadores match. Lining up in the 4-2-3-1, they came out with Nicolas Bolcato in goal, Luciano Gomez, Sheiko Studer, Leonard Costa, Ezequiel Bonifacio in defense, Jose Florentin and Tomas Botari as defensive midfielders, Sebastian Villa, Fabrizio Sartori, Matias Fernandez as midfield, and Alex Arce up front. Fluminense lined up in a 4-2-3-1, Fabio in goal, Guilherme Arana, Juan Pablo Freitas, Ignacio, and Guga as defenders, Hercules and Nonato as defensive midfielders, Jefferson Savarino, Luciano Acosta, Agustin Conobio as forward-facing midfielders, and Rodrigo Castillo up front. Independiente Rivadavia may be the surprise outfit of this season's Libertadores, but they are a legitimately dangerous side. And they were dominant against a Brazilian side in Fluminense who were expected to do so much more in this group. The hosts dominated this match by not dominating the ball. Despite a 70-30 disadvantage, they had almost all the goal-scoring chances in the first half. Alex Arce struck the post with a header off a corner, and Fabrizio Sartori and Jose Florentin forced saves by Fabio at both ends of the first half. The second half saw a similar pattern to the first. Fluminense with most of the ball, Independiente Rivadavia with most of the chances. Right at the midway point, La Lepra Mendocina would push themselves in front. A designed play off a corner kick saw Luciano Gomez send in the cross that Arce rose up to meet, and his header redirected the ball past Fabio. It gave Independiente Rivadavia the 1-0 lead, it put Arce in the goal-scoring lead for the competition, and it put Fluminense on the Libertadores ropes. Flu had to respond, and their desperation resulted in their best spell of the match. Agustin Conobio came close on 2 occasions, and Rodrigo Castillo's header in the area forced a save by Bolcato. Salvation wouldn't arrive for the Brazilian side until the start of stoppage time, when Independiente Rivadavia were turned over while attempting to play out the back. The ball found its way to John Kennedy, and his chopped attempt took 2 deflections and bounced past a wrong-footed Bolcato. The final result means that Independiente Rivadavia won't match Estudiantes' record of 4 wins from their first 4 Libertadores matches, but they will advance to the last 16, a tremendous accomplishment for a 4th seed. It also means that Fluminense are still alive in the Libertadores, but barely. And now moving on to the third featured match of this week, a Group G match between Mirassol and Liga de Quito. Mirassol lined up in a 4-2-3-1 with Walter in goal, Hinaldo, William Machado, Lucas Oliveira, Igor Formiga in defense, Denilson and Neto Maura as defensive midfielders, Edson Carioca, Shylon, Carlos Eduardo as forward midfielders, and Everton Galindo up front. Liga de Quito lined up in a 5-3-2 formation, making one change from their previous Libertadores match. Gonzalo Valle in goal, Yerlin Quiñones, Leonel Quiñones, Luis Segovia, Gianfranco Ayala, Jose Quintero in defense, Gabriel Villamil, Jesus Pretel, Fernando Cornejo in midfield, and Daverson and Jason Medina up front. Mirassol demonstrated dominance in the first half. They dominated the possessions, and they dominated the chances on goal. It took about 35 minutes for them to create their most significant opportunity of the first half up to that point. Edson Carioca's chance inside the 6-yard box forced a low save by Gonzalo Valle. In the second half, Mirassol continued their dominance, but in contrast to the first half, the goal arrived quickly. Just 2 minutes after restart, Lucas Oliveira opened the scoring. From a corner kick, Oliveira converted low and hard in the bottom right corner to give the home side the 1-0 lead. At the hour mark, they would extend that lead through a penalty. Gonzalo Valle took down the player in his penalty area, and Reinaldo stepped up to take the spot kick, converting past Valle to double Mirassol's advantage. Liga were second best in this encounter. The closest that they had to a goal was an attempt by Cristian Luna that was sent over the bar 5 minutes from time. Mirassol were much closer to a third goal than Liga were to a first, and they nearly got that third goal through Antonio Galeano deep into second half stoppage time. The final result, Mirassol 2, Liga de Quito 0. That's it for part 2. In part 3, the rest of the match day. Part 3 of the Soccermetrics Copa Libertadores show, part of the SDH network. And now let's get into the rest of Matchday 4, starting with the Group A match between Cusco and Estudiantes. This would be a tale of two halves. Lucas Colito opened for the Golden Warriors of Cusco before Estudiantes equalized in the second half. They were a stronger side in the closing stanza of this match. Thiago Palacios' equalizer occurred at the hour mark, and Estudiantes rode a great overall performance by Fernando Muslera to guarantee them a road point. In Group B, Deportes Tolima defeated Nacional 3-0 in another heavy defeat for the Uruguayan side. This was an intense and hard-fought match. Nacional hit the post in the first half, and Juan Torres missed a penalty for the home side. Tolima would break the match open in the second half after a second penalty kick was called. This one converted successfully by Luis Sandoval, before Gerson Mosquera doubled the home side's advantage in the 74th minute, and Gerson Gonzalez wrapped up the points for Tolima with a goal 2 minutes from time. In Venezuela, Deportivo La Guaira was held to a 1-1 draw by Bolivar in a Group C match. Leonel Justiniano stole a point for the Bolivians deep in the stoppage time. This is a tough result for both sides, as they have to get points against Independiente Rivadavia and Fluminense in the closing two match days, each side having one home game remaining. In Group D, Universidad Católica and Cruzeiro drew 0-0. Cruzeiro were the protagonists in the first half, before Kenny Arroyo was sent off due to a straight red card. Cruzeiro played with a 10-man disadvantage for almost all of the second half. Despite that, Universidad Católica were unable to convert the numerical advantage into concrete chances. In Guayaquil, Barcelona defeated Boca Juniors 1-0 due to a Hector Villalba goal at the 73rd minute that broke open an evenly fought match. This was the first home win for Barcelona in their entire Libertadores campaign in 2026. In Group E, Santa Fe and Corinthians tied 1-1 in a tight tactical encounter. Hugo Rodallega opened the scoring for the home side on the hour mark. Gustavo Henrique stole a point for Corinthians with a header in the second minute of second half stoppage time. That goal clinched a last 16 appearance for Corinthians in the knockout stage. In Vicente Lopez, Platense and Peñarol drew 1-1. Facundo Batista opened the scoring at the half-hour mark before Agustin Lagos equalized for the Calamares 10 minutes later. Peñarol need wins in their last 2 matches to advance. A really tall order given the situation with their team. Group F. Group F saw 2 away wins. Junior falling at home to Cerro Porteño 1-0 in Cartagena. An early goal by Paulo Vegetti stood up. And this was an encounter in which Junior lacked energy and composure. They've been lacking energy and composure in all 4 of the Libertadores matches, and as a result, they're eliminated from further action in this competition. In Peru, Palmeiras took a 2-0 victory over Sporting Cristal and took control of the group due to a goal by Jose Lopez in the first half and Ramon Sosa in the second. It also features a strong contribution by Carlos Miguel in goal for the Greens. In Bolivia, Always Ready routed Lanús 4-0 in the biggest result of the match week. This was the first international win under new manager Marcelo Stratia for Always Ready. They shook off a missed penalty, eventually scored a goal, and then after that initial goal, goals happened at regular intervals for the Bolivian side. In Group H, Rosario Central defeated Libertad at home 1-0. An Ignacio Ovando goal ensuring the points for the home side. Libertad were the first group stage team eliminated from Libertadores chronologically. In Venezuela, Universidad Central defeated Independiente del Valle 2-0. Either they wasted at least 4 chances in the first half, and goals by Camilo Zapata and Juan Manuel Cuesta were the difference makers for the Venezuelan side. So here's where the groups stand after Matchday 4. In Group A, Flamengo lead the group on 7 points from Estudiantes on 6, Independiente Medellin on 4, and Cusco with 1 point. Now, Flamengo and Independiente Medellin have played 1 match fewer, and the final points will be dependent on CONMEBOL's ruling from incidents surrounding that match between Medellin and Flamengo. In Group B, Tolima and Coquimbo Unido are level on 7 points, but Tolima have the edge on their head-to-head encounters. Universitario and Nacional are tied for 3rd on 4 points, but Universitario have the edge due to their head-to-head encounter result. In Group C, Independiente Rivadavia lead the group on 10 points, followed by Bolivar on 5, Deportivo La Guaira on 3, and Fluminense with 2 points. In Group D, Universidad Católica and Cruzeiro are tied on 7 points. Universidad Católica lead the group on head-to-head results. Boca Juniors are in 3rd with 6 points, and Barcelona falling off the mat with 3 points, but they're still bottom of the group. In Group E, Corinthians lead the group on 10 points, followed by Platense on 6, and then Santa Fe and Peñarol are tied on 2 points, but Santa Fe are in 3rd because they have not received a red card, while Peñarol received 1. In Group F, Palmeiras lead the group on 8 points, followed by Cerro Porteño on 7. Sporting Cristal are 3rd on 6 points, followed by Junior in 4th place with 1 point and eliminated from further participation this Libertadores. In Group G, Mirassol lead the group on 9 points, followed by Lanús on 6, who have the head-to-head tiebreaker over Liga de Quito, who also have 6 points, and Always Ready bring up the rear with 3 points. In Group H, Rosario Central lead the group on 10 points, followed by Independiente del Valle on 7. Universidad Central have 6 points, and Libertad have yet to score any points in this group stage. We finally have 2 teams that have confirmed their place in the Copa Libertadores knockout stage, Independiente Rivadavia, and Corinthians. In addition to these two sides, the following four sides are confirmed to play South American competitions for the rest of 2026. Rosario Central, Independiente del Valle, Palmeiras, and Platense. Now, Junior and Libertad have been officially eliminated from Copa Libertadores contention. They still have a chance of advancing to the knockout stage of Copa Sudamericana, but they're going to need a lot of work to finish in third place. So that was it for Matchday 4. This was a match day in which chances were at a premium. In 4 of the 16 matches played, a team scored more than one goal. Moving week was true to form. There was some separation observed in the groups after this match day, and there were 4 wins by the number 4 seed. Independiente Rivadavia and Corinthians are confirmed for the last 16 of this competition. But the abiding image from this match day were the scenes in Medellin, that abandoned match between Independiente Medellin and Flamengo, internal divisions in Independiente Medellin erupting the stands, CONMEBOL are investigating, and punishment is imminent. Now, you can find XG maps, flowcharts, and passing network maps for every Libertadores match on my Soccermetrics X feed. I'm still backfilling preliminary round matches and matches from the first 3 match days. Matchday is supplied by Data Factory Latin America. Got a comment or question about this podcast or about the Libertadores? Send them to my X handle at Soccermetrics. You can also send questions or comments to @SoccerDownHere or to Jason Longshore at Longshoe. This show is also distributed on YouTube and Facebook, and you can follow the conversations there. Next week is an off week in the Libertadores, and I will finally have my retrospective at the first 100 episodes, plus the story of Sao Paulo's golden era in the 1990s. This has been the Soccermetrics Copa Libertadores show, proudly part of the SDH network. See you later. Hasta luego. E até mais.